Greetings, Stash Wyslouch here. Hope everybody's doing okay. Today's musical quick tip, voice lead your triads. This is part 2 in our mini-series on triads within our musical quick tips series. My goal with studying triads is wherever I am on the guitar neck, I want these chords to light up. Practicing voice leading triads is a sure way to get you a lot closer to that goal of those chords lighting up everywhere. In part 1, we talked about the root position major triad and its 2 inversions on one string set, the D, G, B string set. You can get a nice PDF of all the triad shapes on all the string sets if you become a patron at my Patreon page. And while you're at it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. For the sake of applying that same knowledge, we're going to stick with that string set, D, G, B. Before, we took one position, one inversion at a time. We exploited it so we could really see it. Same shape, etc. In this musical tip video, I want to suggest voice leading the triad. What's the basic definition of voice leading? When you move from one chord to another, move as little as possible to affect that chord change. A basic rule of thumb for voice leading. When you're going from one chord to another, if both chords have a common tone, don't move that tone. So for example, a G chord and a C chord. I want to go from a G to a C. They both have the note G, so I wouldn't move the note G when the chord changes. Let's put it into practice. We're just going to deal with the major triads, G, C, D. So let's practice going from a G major root position triad. I want to voice lead to a C major triad. Well, the second inversion C is real close by. Look at that, my hand barely moved and we've affected the chord change from G to C. Cool. Let's go back to G. Now let's do G root position, voice led to a D chord. They have a common tone, the D, so I'll hold that. And then I'll affect the chord change by moving the other notes as little distance as possible. First inversion D. So we went G root to second inversion C. Then we went G root to first inversion D. Very cool. We're systematic, we're thorough. So now I'd go to my first inversion G and affect the same chord changes. G to C. Hold the common tone, move everything else as little as possible. Nice. Same deal. First inversion G, voice lead to the closest D chord. Hold the common tone, move all the other notes as little as possible. Okay, nice. First inversion G to a second inversion D. Lastly, second inversion G. Voice lead to the closest C. Second inversion G. Voice lead to the closest D. Cool. Not all chord changes are going to have common tones. That's okay. You can still voice lead the chord changes by moving the notes that are close by. So, as always, let's take a song and let's do these one by one inversions. I say the Stanley Brothers Paint the Town. I'm just going to go through the song and voice lead my chord changes. 1, 2, 3. I'm going honky tonkin'. Everything's turned upside down. But when I find that gal of mine, we're really gonna paint this town. I'm going honky tonkin'. Everything's turned upside down. But when I find that gal of mine, we're really gonna paint this town. Oh, when you see me coming, you better raise your windows high. Oh, when you see me leaving, Lord, Lord, hang down your head and cry. Alright, you'll get fluid with this. If you're like me, maybe you play some bluegrass, some folky stuff. With these 3 chord changes, a G to C to D, you can get pretty far and starting to see some new cool shapes. What are the benefits of this? Chord changes sound less clunky. As always, thanks for watching to the end. Highly appreciated. Happy practicing. See you next week.